off! Look where it comes again!
In the same figure, like the king that's dead. Thou art a scholar, speak to it, Horatio. Looks it not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like it hairs me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to. Question it, Horatio.
What art thou that usurpest this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak!
It is offended. See, it stalks away.
Speak, speak, I charge thee, speak!
'Tis here.
'Tis here.
'Tis gone. We do it wrong, being so majestical, to offer it the show of violence, for it is as the air invulnerable, and our vein blows malicious mockery. It was about to speak when the cock crew.
So have I heard, and do in part believe it. But look, the morn in russet mantle clad walks o'er the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we our watch up, and by my advice let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet, for, upon my life, this spirit dumb to us will speak to him. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it as needful in our loves, fitting our duty?
Let's do it, I pray, and I this evening know we shall find her most conveniently.
The king doth break tonight, and takes his rouse. Keeps with sound the swaggering upspring reels, and as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge. But in my mind, though I am native here and to the manor born, it is a custom more honored in the breach than the observance. This heavy-headed rebel, east and west, makes us traduced and taxed of other nations. They clap us drunkards, and with swinish phrase soil our edition. Though performed at height, the pith and marrow of our attributes, so oft it chances in particular men that for some vicious maul of nature in them as in their birth, wherein they're not guilty, since nature cannot choose his origin, by the o'ergrowth of some complexion, oft breaking down the pales and forts of reasons, or by some habit that too much o'erleavens the form of closet manners, that these men, I say, carrying the stamp of one defect, being nature's livery or fortune star, their virtues else be they as pure as grace. Gone. How's it going? Just good? Chill.
Kind of fine, yeah.
Alright.
Have you ever seen a castle before?
I
Or
have
like
not.
the basement of the castle?
I have not seen this. No, I feel like basements are very much used for one thing in my opinion.
Yeah.
For storage.
Yeah.
You would
But like, from that particular fault, the dram of evil doth all the noble substance of a doubt to his own scandal.
All hail King Claudius!
All hail King Claudius! Take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. But now my cousin Hamlet and my son.
A little more than kin, less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord, for I'm too much in the sun.
Good Hamlet!
Cast thy netted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common. All that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam, nay, it is, I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor windy suspiration of forest breath, no, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected hair of the visage, together with all forms, moods, and shapes of grief that can denote me truly. For these indeed seem that they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passeth show. These but the trappings and the suits of woe.
It is sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these morning duties to your father. But you must know that your father lost a father. That father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow. You are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desires, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply, be as ourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced quote of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart, in grace whereof no jocund health that Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, and the kings rouse the heavens, all brew it again, bespeaking earthly thunder. Come away.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh, God. God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seems to me all the uses of this world. Why, 'tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possessed merely that they should come to this but 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this Hyperion, to his satyr. So loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven to visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth, it is not, nor it cannot come to good, but break my heart. For I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
I'm glad to see you well, Horatio. I do forget myself.
Same, my lord. Your poor servant ever.
I'm very glad to see you. Good even, sir, but what in faith make you from Wittenberg?
A truant disposition. Good, my lord.
I would not hear your enemies say so, nor shall you do mine ear that violence. To make a truster of your own report against yourself, I know you are no truant. But what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray you, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My lord, the king, your father.
The king, my father? For God's love, let me hear.
A figure, like your father, armed at point exactly cap a pay, appears before us, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by us. Thrice he walked by our oppressed and fear-surprised eyes, whilst we, distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. The apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none. Though once methought it did lift its head and did address itself to motion, like as it would speak, but even then the morning cock crew loud, and at the sound it shrunk in haste away and vanished from our sight.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, keep it tenable in your silence still. And whatsoever else shall hap tonight, Give it an understanding, but no tongue. I will requite your loves. So fare you well. Upon the platform, twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
My duty to your lordship.
Yours. I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come. Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefit and convoy's assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet and the trifling of her favor hold it a fashion in a toying blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more but so.
Perhaps she loves you now, and now no soil nor coddle doth besmirch the virtue of her will. But you must fear her greatness swayed, her will is not her own, for she herself is subject to her birth. She may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for herself, for on her choice depends the safety and health of this whole state. And therefore must her choice be circumscribed unto the voice and yielding of that body whereof she is the head. Then if she says she loves you, it fits your wisdom to believe her, as she in her particular act and place may give her saying deed, which goes no further than the main voice of Denmark goes withal. Fear it, Ophelia. Fear it, dear sister. Keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot and danger of desire. The shardiest maid is prodigal enough if she unmask her beauty to the moon. Virtue itself scapes not calumnious strokes. The canker galls the infants of spring too often before their buttons be disclosed. And in the morn and liquid dew of youth, contagious blasphements are imminent. Be wary then. Best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But, good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whiles like a puffed and reckless libertine himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
For me not. I stay too long. But here my mother comes. A double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles upon a second leave.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard for shame. The witness sits in the shoulder of your sail, and yet you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee, and these few precepts in thy memory, see thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Be it neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, for then it must follow, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invites you, go, your servants tend!
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is it, Ophelia, he has said to you?
So please you something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Marry, well bethought. 'Tis told me she hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself of your audience have been most free and bounteous. If it be so, as so 'tis put on me, and in that way of caution I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behooves my daughter and your honor. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
She hath, my lord, of late, made many tenders of her affection to me.
Affection! You speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. What do you think of her tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby that you have taken these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly. Or, not to crack the wind of the poor phrase, running it thus. Oh my God, the candle. You'll tender me a fool.
My lord, she hath a fortitude of love in honorable fashion.
Aye, fashion you may call it. Go to.
And hath given countenance to her speech, my lord, by nearly all the holy vows of heaven.
For Lord Hamlet, believes so much in her that she is young, and with a larger tether may she walk than may be given you. In few Ophelia do not believe her vows, for they are brokers, not of that dye which their investments show, but mere implorers of unholy suits, breathing like sanctified and pious bawds, the better to beguile. This is for all. I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth, have you so slander any moment leisure as to talk or give words with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you, come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed, I heard it not. Then draws near the season wherein the spirit hell is wont to walk.
Look. My lord, it comes!
Angels and ministers of grace, defend us. Thou, a spirit of health, or goblin damned, bring with thee heirs from heaven or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked, O charitable, that comest in such a questionable shape that I'll speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet. King, Father, royal Dane, oh, answer me! Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones hearsed in death have burst their cerements. Why the sepulchre wherein we saw thee quietly inurned hath oped his ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again. Say, what may this mean? That thou, dead corse, again in complete steel, revisitest thus the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous, and us fools of nature so horridly to shake our disposition with thoughts beyond the reaches of our souls. Say, why is this? Wherefore, what should we do?
It beckons you to go away with it, as if some impartment did desire to you alone.
Look with what courteous action. It waves you to a more removed ground, but do not go with it.
No, by no means.
It will not speak, I will follow it.
Do not, my lord.
Why? What should be the fear? I do not set my life in a pin's fee. And for my soul, what can it do to that, being a thing as immortal as itself? It waves me still. Go on. I'll follow thee.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord? Or to the dreadful summit of the cliff that beetles o'er his base into the sea, and there assume some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and drive you into madness? Think of it. The very place puts toys of desperation without more motive into every brain that looks so many fathoms to the sea and hears it roar beneath.
It waves me again. Go on. I'll follow.
You shall not go, my lord!
Hold off your hands!
Be ruled, you shall not go.
My faith cries out and makes each petty artery in this body as hardy as the Nemean lion's nerve. Still am I called. Unhand me, gentlemen! By heaven! I'll make a ghost of him that lets me, I say, away! Go on, I'll follow thee.
Left is desperate of imagination.
I'll go no further. Speak. What wilt thou tell me?
Mark me!
I will.
I am thy father's spirit,
Doomed for a certain term to walk the night,
and for the day confined to fasting fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature.
List, oh list!
If thou didst ever thy dear father love,
Murder most foul as the best it is.
but
this most foul!
strange and unnatural.
God! Haste me to note that I, with wings as swift as meditation on the thoughts of love, may sweep to my revenge.
Sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me.
The serpent that did sting thy father's life.
Now where's his crown?
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle.
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, of light, of crown, of queen, of horses dashed. Let
Not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest! But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught.
Lead her to heaven and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her.
Fare thee well at once! The glowworm shows the matin to be near,
and begins to pale his ineffectual fire. Adieu! Adieu! Hamlet, remember me!
Oh, all you host of heaven and earth! What else and shall I couple hell? Oh, fie! Hold my heart, and you, my sinews, grow not into dog, but bury stiffly up! Remember thee. I, the poor ghost, will memory hold a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee. Yea. And from the tables of my memory, I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all sauce of books, all forms, all precious past, that youth and observation copied there. And thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven. Oh, most pernicious woman! Oh, villain, smiling, damned villain! Meet it is my table, I set it down, that one may smile, and be a villain. At least I'm sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word it is adieu, adieu, remember me. I have sworn.
How is't, my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
How say you then, would heart of man once think it? But you'll be secret.
Aye, by heaven, my lord.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
There needs no ghost, my lord, to come from the grave to tell us this.
Why, right. You are in the right, and so without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desire shall lead you, for every man has business and desire. So shall it be. And for mine own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you, heartily, yes, faith, heartily.
There's no offense, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick. But there is Horatio. And much offense too, touching this vision here. It is an honest ghost. Let me tell you, for your desire to know is between us, or master it as you may. And good friends, as you are, friends, scholars, and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
Never to speak of this that you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear't.
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Oh, day and night, this is but wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here as before, never. So shall you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I, perchance, shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you, at such time, seeing me, never shall, with arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or such ambiguous giving out that you know aught of me, this not to do, swear.
I swear.
Rest, perturbed spirit. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right.
it? The Lord Hamlet, with her doublet all embraced, no hat upon her head, her stockings fouled, ungartered, down gyved to her ankles, pale as her shirt, her knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous and purport as if she had been loosed out of hell to speak of horror, she comes before me.
Mad for thy love.
I do not know, my lord, but truly I do fear it.
What said she?
She took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then went she to nearly all the length of her arm, and with her other hand, thus o'er her brow, she falls to such perusal of my face, as she would draw it. Long stayed she so. At last, a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice her head waving up and down, she raised a sigh so piteous and profound as it did seem to shatter all her book and end her being. That done, she lets me go. And with her head or her shoulder turned, she seemed to find her way out of doors without eyes, for out of doors she went without their helps, and to the last bended their light on me.
Okay. Come, go with me. I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property fordoes itself and leads the will to desperate undertakings as oft as any passion under heaven that does afflict our natures. I am sorry. This being kept close might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we did much long to see you, the need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? So call it, sith nor the exterior nor the inward man resemble that it was. What it should be more than her father's death, that thus hath put her so much from understanding her herself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you, that being of so young days brought up with her, and sith so neighbored to her youth and behavior, that you vouchsafe your rest in our court some little time. So by your companies, to draw her on to pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion one may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts her thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
Both your majesty's might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bed, to lay our services freely at your feet, to be commanded.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. And I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son.
Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
Aye. Amen.
My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night night, and time is time, were nothing but to waste day, night, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the outward limbs and flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define true madness, what is it to be nothing else but mad? But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. But farewell it, for I will use no art. I have a daughter, Havel, she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, mark, hath given me this. Now gather and surmise.
To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia.
That's an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified? Ugh, a vile phrase. But you shall hear thus.
In her excellent white bosom, these...
From Hamlet to her.
Good madam. Stay a while, I will be faithful.
In her excellent white bosom, these, etc. Doubt thou the stars of fire. Doubt that the sun doth move. Doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Oh, dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers. I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best. Oh, best. Oh, most best. Believe it to do, thine evermore. Most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him,
This hath my daughter shown me, and more above hath her solicitings fell out by time, by means and place, all given to mine ear.
But how hath she received her love?
What do you think of me?
As a woman faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so. But what might you think when I had perceived this love, when I had looked upon this hot love, before my daughter told me, I must tell you, what might you or my dear majesty, your queen here, think if I had played the desk or table book, or given my heart a winking, mute and dumb, or looked upon this love with idle sight? What might you think? No, I went round to work, and thus my mistress I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince, out of thy star, this must not be. And I precepts gave her that she should lock herself from her resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens. And thus being done, she took the fruits of my advice, and Hamlet, repulsed, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, thence into a watch, thence into a fast, thence into a lightness, thence into a weakness, and by this declension into the madness where now she raves, and we all mourn for her.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be very likely.
How may we try it further?
You know, sometimes she walks 4 hours in the lobby.
Oh, but look where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, I do beseech you, I'll board her presently. Away! How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Oh, God of mercy!
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent. Well, you are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
Aye, sir, to be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
What do you read, my lord?
Words.
Though this be madness, there is method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave.
Indeed, that is out of the air. My good lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything I will more willingly part with all. Except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Fare you well, my lord. You go to seek the Lord Hamlet. There she is.
My honored lord.
Our most dear lord.
My excellent good friends. Guildenstern, Rosencrantz, good lads, how do you both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we are not over happy. By fortune's cap, we are at the very bottom.
Then is doomsday near, but your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, done at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one.
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Then 'tis none to you. For there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Why, then your ambition makes it one 'tis too narrow for your mind.
God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself the king of infinite space were it not that I have bad dreams.
Which dreams, indeed, are ambition, for the very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream.
A dream itself is but a shadow.
Truly, and I hold ambition of so airy and light a quality that it is but a shadow's shadow.
Then are our beggars' bodies, and our monarchs and our outstretched heroes our beggars' shadows. But in the beaten way of friendship, what have you in Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord, no other occasion.
Was it your own inclining? Was it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay. Speak.
My lord, we were sent for.
Why, then I shall tell you. And so shall my anticipation prevent your discovery and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late. But wherefore I know not. Lost all my mirth. Forgone all custom of exercises, and it indeed goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. in this most excellent canopy. The air! Look, you. This brave, o'erhanging firmament. This majestical roof fretted with golden fire. Why? It appears no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. Man delights not me. No, nor woman neither. But by either you're smiling, you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
Oh, there has been much throwing about of brains.
Do the boys carry it away?
Aye, that they do, my lord. Hercules and his load too.
Good friends, you are welcome in Elsinore. Your hands come then. The appurtenance of welcome is fashion and ceremony. Let me comply with you in this garb, lest my extent to the players, which should show fairly outward, should more appear like entertainment than yours. You are welcome, but my uncle, father, and aunt mother are deceived. I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
My lord, I have news to tell you. The actors have come hither.
Boo-hoo!
Upon mine honor.
Then came each actor on her ass.
The best actors in the world!
Either for tragedy, comedy, pastoral, historical,
Pastoral comical! Pastoral!
tragical, historical, scene in the Bible, or poem unlimited.
Seneca could not be too heavy, nor Plautus too light. For the laws of writ and liberty, these are the only men!
You are welcome, masters. Welcome all. I'm glad to see you well. Welcome, good friends. I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted, or if it was, not above once, for the play, it seemed, please not the million. 'Twas caviar to the general, but as I received it, and others, whose cries in such matters cried in the top of mine, an excellent play, well digested in the scene, set down with as much modesty as cunning.
This is too long.
It shall to the barbers with your beard. Good, my lord, will you see the players well bestowed?
I will use them according to their desert. Come, sirs!
Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my good lord.
Very well. Follow that lord, and look you mock her not. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, can force herself so to her own conceit that from her function suiting, with forms to her conceit, and all for nothing, for Hecuba! What's Hecuba to her, her to Hecuba, that she should weep for him? Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Plucks me by the beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose and gives me the line, the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this? Ah! Swoon should take it, for it cannot be. But I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this, I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's offal bloody body, lecherous, kindless, treacherous, kindless villain. Why, what an ass am I? This is most brave, that I, a son of a dear father murdered, pushed to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing, like a very drab, a stallion. If I plant foe about my brain, I've heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the cunning of the scene been struck so to the core that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick if he but blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath powers to assume a pleasing shape, yea, and out of my weakness and melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you, by no drift of circumstance, get from her why she puts on this confusion, grating so harshly all her days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacies?
She does confess she feels herself distracted, but from what cause she will by no means speak.
Good gentlemen, give her a further edge and drive her purpose onto these delights. I pray you hasten this.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us to, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither that she, as 'twere by accident, may hear affront Ophelia. Her father and myself, lawful espials, will so bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge, and gather by her, as she is behaved, if it be the affliction of her love, or no, that thus she suffers for.
I shall obey you.
And for your part, Ophelia,
I do hope that your beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring her to her wonted way again? To both your honors.
Madam, I wish it may.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please you. Read on this book. The show of it may color your loneliness. We are oft to blame in this. It's just too much proved that with devotion's visage and pious action, we do sugar all to the devil himself.
Oh, 'tis too true. How smart a lash that speech doth give my conscience. The harlot's cheek, beautied by plastering art, is no more ugly to the thing that helps it than is my deed to my most painted word. Oh, heavy burthen.
Elisa, do hear her. Let's withdraw.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation. Devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep perchance, to dream. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the calamity that makes so long life, for who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes? Might he himself with his quietus make with a bare bodkin, who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but then the dread of something after death, The undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus, the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thought, with enterprises of great pitch and moment. With this regard, their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Soft, you know, the fair Ophelia nymph and thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. And with them, words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich, their perfumed lost. Take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest, my lord? Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Can beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly. For the power of honesty will sooner transform beauty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can transform beauty into his likeness. This was once a paradox, but now time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, and I could accuse me of such things. That it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape. What should such creatures as I do, crawling between earth and heaven? We are errant knaves all. Believe none of us. To a nunnery go, and quickly too. Where is your mother?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon her, that she may play the fool nowhere but in's own house. Farewell.
Oh, help her, you sweet heavens.
Oh. If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Get thee to a nunnery? Go, or if thou wilt needs marry a fool. For wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery go.
Oh, heavenly powers.
I have heard of your paintings, too. Well enough. God has given you one face, and you give yourself another. You chant, you amble, and you lisp, and nickname God's creatures, and make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to, I'll no more on, which hath made me mad. I say, we will have no more marriages. All but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery go.
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form,
the observed of all observers. Quite down. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that did suck the honey of her music vows, now see the noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled, out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and feature of blown youth blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me! To have seen what I have seen, see what I see.
Love! Her affections do not that way tend, nor what she spake, though it liked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in her soul o'er which her melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger, which for to prevent, I have in quick determination thus set it down. She shall with speed to England for the demand of our neglected tribute. Haply the seas and nations different with variable objects shall expel this something settled matter in her heart, whereon her brain still beating put her thus from fashion of herself. What think you on't?
Shall do well. But yet I do believe the origin and commencement of her grief did spring from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what the Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please. But if you hold it fit, after the play, let her queen mother all alone entreat her, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. If she find her not, to England send her, or confine her where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. Use all gently, for in the very torrent tempest and, as I may say, whirlwind of passion, you must use and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Pray you, avoid it.
I warrant your honor.
Go and make you ready.
How fair is our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent. In faith, the chameleon's dish. I eat the air. Promise crammed, you cannot feed capon so.
I have nothing with his answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
Nor mine, no. My lord, you played in the university, you say.
That did I, and was accounted a good actor.
Oh, what did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
It was a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf there. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord, they stay upon your patience. Come hither, my dear Hamlet, sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
Ooh, do you mark that?
Lady, shall I lie on your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
What? You think I mean country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
It's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry, my lord.
Who, I?
Aye, my lord.
What is a man else to be merry? For look you, how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within these 2 hours. The mouse trap. Marry how? Tropically. 'Tis the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the duke's name, his wife. Baptista. You shall see anon. 'Tis a knavish piece of work, but what of that? Your Majesty and I that have 3 souls, it touches us not. Let the gall jade wince. Our withers are unwrung.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agreeing, Confederate season else no creature seeing. Thy mixture rank of midnight weed collected, with Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and dire property, on wholesome life usurp immediately.
over the play!
Give me some light away!
Lights! Why let this stricken deer go weep the heart and gall play? Some must watch while some must weep. So runs the world away. Oh, good Horatio, I'll take the ghost word for £1,000. Didst perceive?
Very well, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poisoning?
I did very well note him.
Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
You are welcome.
Nay, good my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
Sir, I cannot.
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer, my wits diseased. But such an answer as I can make, you shall command. But, as you say, my mother, or rather, to the matter, my mother, you say?
Then thus she says, your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother. Is there any news the sequel of the Queen's heels? Impart.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey were she 10 times our mother. I will come by and by. Have you any other further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
I do still. By these pickers and stealers?
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently.
I will come by and by. These fools fool me to the top of my bent, but I will come by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said.
Very well, my lord.
Leave me, friends. 'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to the world. Now could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as a day would quake to look on. But soft. Now to my mother. O heart, lose not thy nature, and let not the soul of Nero enter this firm bosom. I must be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrites. How my words, howe'er she be shent, make seals never. My soul, consent.
I like her not, nor stands it safe with us to let her madness range. Therefore prepare you. I your commission will forthwith dispatch, and she shall to England along with you. The terms of our estate may not endure hazard so dangerous as doth hourly grow out of her lunacies.
We will ourselves provide. Most holy and religious fear it is to keep those many, many bodies safe that live and feed upon your majesty.
The single and peculiar life is bound with all the strength and armor of the mind to keep itself from annoyance, but much more that spirit upon whose wheel depend and rest the lives of many. The cease of majesty dies not alone, but like a gulf doth draw what's near it with it. It is a massy wheel, fixed on a summit of the highest mount, to whose huge spokes 10,000 lesser things are mortised and adjoined, which, when it falls, each small annexment, petty consequence, attends the boisterous ruin. Never alone did the king sigh, but with a general groan.
Arm you, I pray you, to this speedy voyage, for we will put fetters upon this fear which now goes too free-footed.
We will haste us.
My lord, she's going to her mother's closet. Behind the arras I'll convey myself to hear the process.
Thanks, dear my lord. Oh, my offense is rank, it smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon to brother's murder. Pray, can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will? My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and like a man to double business bound, I stand and pause where I shall first begin and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? And where too serves mercy but to confront the visage of offense? And what's in prayer but this twofold force to be forestalled ere we come to fall or pardon being down? Then I'll look up. My fault is past, but oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder! That cannot be, for I'm still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder, my crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense. In the corrupted currents of this world, offense's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft is seen the wicked prize itself may buy out the law, but 'tis not so above. There's no shuffling there. There the action lies in its true nature, and we ourselves compelled even to the teeth and foreheads of our faults to give an evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can, yet what can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? Oh, wretched state. Oh, bosom black as death. Oh, limed soul that's struggling to be free art more engaged. Help, angels, make us say. Bow stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel be as soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now, might I do it, Pat? Now he's praying, and now I'll do it. And so am I revenged. And so he goes to heaven. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and I, for that his sole son, do the same villain send to heaven. Oh, this is higher in salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of blood, with all his crimes broad blown, as flush as May. And how his audit stands, who knows? Save heaven. But in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him. And so am I then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No! Ah, sword! And now, know thou more, hoard hent, when he is drunk, asleep, or in some rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in't, then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, that his soul may be as black and damned as hell. Whereto it goes, my mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up. My thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
She will come straight. Look you, lay home to her. Tell her pranks have been too broad to bear with, and your grace hath stood and screened between much heat and her. Pray you, be round with her. I'll sconce me even here.
Mother, mother, mother!
Oh, pardon you, fear me not. Withdraw. I hear her coming.
Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Oh, come, you answer with an idle
Go,
tongue.
go, you question with a wicked tongue.
How now, Hamlet? Have you forgot me?
No. By the rood, not so. You are the queen. Your husband's brother's wife. And would it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay then, I'll set those to you that can speak.
Come and sit you down, you go not. Till I set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help! Help! Oh!
Help! 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 Help now! A rat. Dead for a ducat. Dead!
What hast thou done?
I know not.
What a rash and bloody deed is this!
Oh, a rash and bloody deed. almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king.
Aye, lady, 'twas my word. Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool, farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thou fortunes thou find'st to be too busy is some danger. Leave! Wringing of your hands, peace! Sit you down. For I can wring your heart out. So for I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff, if damned custom had not brusted so that it is proof and bulwark against sense.
Oh, speak to me no more.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty.
Oh, speak to me no more. These words like daggers enter in mine ears.
A murderer and a villain, a slave. That is not 20th part the tithe of your precedent, lord. A vice of kings, a cut purse of the empire and the rule, that from a shelf the precious diadem stole and put it in his pocket.
No more.
A king of shreds and patches. Oh.
Mark me!
Save me! Do not come your tardy son to chide that lapsed in time and passion. Let's go by the important acting of your dread command. Oh, say, how is it with you, lady?
How is it with you? That you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air do hold discourse. Or that your eyes, your spirits widely peep, and like the soldiers in the alarm, your bedded hair, like life in excrement, starts up and stands on end. How gentle sun upon the heat and flame of thy distemper, sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look?
On her! On her! Look you! How pale she glares. Her form and cause conjoin. Preaching on stones to make them capable. Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects, and what I will have to say will want true color, tears perchance for blood.
To whom do you speak this?
Do you see nothing here?
No, nothing but ourselves.
No, and you nothing here.
Nothing at all.
Look, you, how it steals away. Look, even now how it goes out the portal.
This is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation ecstasy is very cunning in.
Confess yourself to heaven. Repent what's past, avoid what is to come. Do not spread your compost on the weeds to make them ranker. Forgive me this my virtue, for in the fatness of these pursy time, virtue itself of vice must pardon beg, yet curb and woo for leave to do him good.
Cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it, and live the pure with the other. Good night, mother. But go not to my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. I must be cruel, not unnatural. Thus bad begins, and worse remains behind. I must to England, you know that?
Alack, I had forgotten. Let's conclude.
Good night, mother. And indeed, this counselor is now most still, most secret, and most grave, who was in life a foolish, prating knave. Come, sir, toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
Oh my good Lord, what I have seen tonight!
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad as the sea and wind with both contend, which is the mightier? In her lawless fit, behind the arras hearing something stir, cries, a rat, and kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, heavy deed.
been so with us had we been there. Her liberty is full of threats to all, to you, yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how shall this bloody deed be answered? It will be laid to us, who Providence should have kept short, restrained, and out of haunt this mad young man. But so much was our love, we would not understand what was most fit. And like the owner of a foul disease, to keep it from divulging, let it feed, even on the pith of life. Where is she gone?
To draw apart the body she hath killed, or whom her very madness, like an ore in a mineral of metal's base, shows itself pure, she weeps for what she's done.
Oh, Gertrude, come away. The sun no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will ship her hence. And this deed we must with all our majesty and skill both countenance and excuse.
Oh, Guildenstern!
Friends both, go join you with some further aid. Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain, and from her mother's closet hath she dragged her. Speak fair, bring the body into the chapel. I pray you haste in this. Bye. Come, Gertrude. We'll call up our wisest friends and tell them both what is untimely done and what we mean to do. Oh, come away. My soul is full of discord and dismay.
Safely stowed.
What have you done, my lord, with the dead body?
Compounded it with dust, whereto 'tis kin.
Tell us where 'tis, that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
You do not believe it.
Believe what?
That I can keep your countenance and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge, what replication should be made by the son of a king?
Take you me for a sponge, my lord?
Aye, truly. That soaks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities. But such officers do the king best service in the end. He keeps them like an ape in the corner of his jaw, first mouthed to be last swallowed. When he needs what you have gleaned, 'tis but squeezing you. And sponge, you shall be dry again.
I understand you not, my lord.
I'm glad of it. A knavish speech sleeps in a foolish ear.
My lord, you will tell us where the body is and come with us to the king.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing.
A thing, my lord?
A thing of nothing. Bring me to him. I'd fox and all after.
Now Hamlet wears Polonius.
At supper?
At supper? Where?
Not where she eats, but where she is eaten.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven! Send hither to see. If your messenger find her not there, look for her in the other place yourself. But indeed, if you find her not within this month, you shall nose her as you go up the stairs and into the lobby.
Go seek her there.
She will stay till we come.
Hamlet, this deed for thine especial safety, which we do tender as we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The bark is at ready, the wind at help, the associates tend, and everything is bent for England.
For England.
I, Hamlet.
Good.
So is it if thou knewest our purposes.
Come. For England.
Follow her closely, tempt her with speed aboard, delay it not, I'll have her hence tonight. Away! For everything is sealed and done that else leans on this affair. And England, if my love thou hold'st at odd, as my great power thereof may give thee sense, since yet thy cicatrice looks raw and red after the Danish sword, and thy friar pays homage to us, thou mayst not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports it full by letters congruing to the effect the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England. For like the fever in my blood she rages, thou must cure me till I know 'tis done, however my haps, my joys were never begun.
She speaks much of her father, says she hears there's tricks in the world, and hems, and beats her heart, spurns enviously at straws, speaks things in doubt that carry but half sense. Her speech is nothing, yet the unshapen use of it doth move the hearers to collection. They aim at it, and botch the words up fit to their own thoughts, which, as her nods and gestures yield them, indeed, would make one think there might be thought, though nothing sure, yet much distractedly. 'Twere good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures in ill-breeding minds.
Let her come in. To my sick soul, as sin's true nature is, each toy seems prologue to some great amiss. So full of artless jealousy as guilt, it spills itself in fearing of be spilt.
Where's the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
How should I your true love know from another one? By his cockle hat and staff and his sandal shoon.
Alas, sweet lady, what imports this song?
Say you, nay, pray you, mark. She is dead and gone, lady. She is dead and gone. At her head a grass-green death, at her heels a stone.
Nay, but Ophelia.
Pray you, mark! White her shroud as the mountain snow.
Yes, look here, my lord.
Larded with sweet flowers, which be wept to the grave, did go with true love shower.
How do you, pretty lady?
Well, God illed you. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are,
but know not what we may be. God be at your table.
Conceit upon her mother.
Say you will have no words of this. But when they ask you what it means, say you this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning betime, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up she rose and donned her clothes and ducked the chamber door, letting the maid that out of maid never departed more. Indeed, law without an oath, I'll make an end on it. By Chiss and by St. Charity, lack and fire for shame. Young men will do it if they come to it. By cock, they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. So would I have done by yonder sun, and thou hast not come to my bed.
How long hath she been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient. But I cannot choose but weep. To think they should lay her in the cold ground!
My brother shall know it. And so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, coach. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night.
Follow her close. Give her good watch, I pray you. Oh, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her mother's death. Oh, Gertrude, Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not single soldiers, but in battalions. First her mother slain, next your son gone, and she most violent author of her own just remove. The people muddied, thick and unwholesome in their thoughts for good Polonius' death, and we have done but greenly in hugger-mugger to inter her. Poor Ophelia, divided from herself and her fair judgment, without the which we are pictures or mere beasts. Last, and as much containing as all these, her brother is in secret come from France, feeds on his wonders, keeps himself in clouds, and wants not buzzards to infect his ear with pestilent speeches of his mother's death. Wherein necessity of matter beggared will nothing stick our person but to arraign in ear and ear. Oh, Gertrude, this like to a murdering piece in many places gives me superfluous death.
Like what noise is this?
Thou vile king, give me my mother!
Calmly, good Laertes.
That drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard, cries cuckold to my mother, brands the harlot even here, between the chaste unsmirched brow of my true mother.
What is the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Do not fear our person. There's such divinity that will hedge to treason, treason can but peep to what it would, act little of his will. Tell me, Laertes, why thou art thus incensed. Speak, man.
Where is my mother?
Dead.
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came she dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell allegiance, vows to the blackest death, conscience and grace to the profoundest pit, I dare damnation. To this point I stand, that both worlds I give to negligence, let come what comes. Only I'll be revenged most thoroughly for my mother.
Who shall stay you?
My will, not all the world. And for my means I'll husband them so well they shall go far with little.
Well, you know them then. Good Laertes. As if you desire to know the certainties of your dear mother's death, is written your revenge at swoop stake you will draw both friend and foe, winner and loser.
None but his enemies.
Will you know them then?
To his good friends thus wide I'll open my arms, and like the kind, life-rendering pelican, repass them with my blood.
Why, now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman. That I am guiltless in your mother's death, and am most sensible in guilt for it, it shall as judgment to your day as your judgment to your pierce, as day does to your eye.
Oh, now, what noise is that? Oh, you dry up my brains. You're 7 times salt. Burn out the sense and virtue of my life. By heaven, thy madness shall be paid by a way till our scale turn the beam. Oh, Rose of May, dear May, kind sister, sweet Ophelia! Oh, heavens, is it possible that a young maid's wit should be as moral as an old man's life? Nature is fine in love. And where it is fine, it sends some precious instance of itself after the thing it loves.
They bore her barefaced on the bier. Hey, na na ni eh, and in the great grave many a tear. Fare you well, my dove.
Hadst thou thy wits, and didst persuade revenge, you could not move us.
You must sing a drown, and you call her Andromeda. Oh, how the weir becomes it.
It is the false steward that stole his master's daughter.
This nothing's more than that.
There's rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray, love, remember. And there's pansies. That's for thoughts.
A document in madness. Thoughts and remembrance fitted.
There's fennel for you. And columbines. There's rue for you. And here's some for me. We may call it herb grace on Sundays. Oh, you must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets,
But they withered all when my mother died.
they say she made a good end. For Bonnie, sweet Robin, is all my joy.
Thought, infliction, passion, hell itself. She turned to favor into prettiness.
And will she not come again? And will she not come again? No, no, she is dead. Go to thy deathbed, and she never will come again. Her shroud was as white as snow, all flaxen was her pole. She is gone, she is gone, and we cast away moan. God's have mercy on your souls. The king doth wake tonight, and takes his rouse. Gods be with ye.
Do you see this? Oh, God! Laertes, I must commune with your grief or you deny me right. Go but apart. Make choice of whom your wisest friends you will, and they will hear and judge twixt you and me. If they find us touched by collateral or direct hand, we will our kingdom give, our crown, our life, and all that we can ours to you in satisfaction. But if not, be you content to lend your patience to us, and we will jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral. No trophy, sword, nor hatchment o'er his bones. No noble right, nor formal ostentation, cry to be heard, as 'twere from heaven to earth, that I must call it in question.
So it shall. And where the offense is, let the great axe fall. Go with me.
I do not know from what part of the world I should be greeted if not from Lord Hamlet.
God bless you, sir.
Let him bless you too.
He shall, sir, and please him. There's a letter for you, sir. It comes from the ambassador that was bound for England, if your name be Horatio, as I am let to know it is.
Horatio, when thou shalt have overlooked this, give these fellows some means to the king. They have letters for him ere we were 2 days old at sea. A pirate, a very warlike appointment, gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor, and in the grapple, I boarded them. On the instant, they got clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they knew that they did. I am to do a good turn for them. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak in thine ear, will make thee dumb. Yet are they too much light for the bore of the matter. These good fellows will bring them where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. For them I have much to tell thee. Farewell. He that thou knowest thine. Hamlet.
Come, make ye wait for these your letters, and do it the speedier that you may direct me to her from whom you brought them.
Now must your conscience my acquaintance seal, and you must put me in your heart for friend. Sith you have heard, and with a knowing ear, that she which hath your noble mother slain pursued my life.
It well appears. But tell me, why you proceeded not against these feats, so crimeful and capital in nature, as by your wisdom, safety, all things else, you mainly were stirred up?
Oh, for two special reasons that may perhaps to you seem much unsinewed, yet to me they are strong. The queen, her mother, lives almost by her looks, and myself, my virtue, or my plague, be it either which, she is so conjoined to my life and soul that as the star moves not but in his sphere, I could not but by her. The other motive, why to a public count I might not go, for is the great love the general gender bear her, dipping all her faults in their affections, that like the spring that turneth wood to stone, would convert all her gyves to graces. And my arrows, too slightly timbered for so loud a wind, would have reverted to my bow again, and not where I had aimed them.
And so have I a noble mother lost, and a sister driven into desperate terms, whose worth, if praises may go back again, stood challenger on mount of all the age for her perfections. But my revenge will come.
Break not your sleeps for this. You must not think we are made of stuff so flat and dull that we can let our beard be shook by danger and call it pastime. You shortly shall hear more. I loved your mother, and we love ourselves. And that, I hope, will teach you to imagine... how now? What news?
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet. This to your majesty, this to the queen.
From Hamlet? Who brought them?
Sailors, my lord, they say. I saw them not. They were given me by Claudio. He received them of him that brought them.
Laertes, you shall hear them. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow I shall beg leave to see your kingly eyes, and first, asking pardon thereunto, recount the sudden and more strange account of my return. Hamlet, what should this mean? Are all the rest come back, or is this some abuse and no such thing?
Know you the hen?
It's his Hamlet's character. Here she says naked, and in postscript she says alone. Can you advise me?
I'm lost in it, my lord, but let her come. It warms the very sickness in my heart, that I may live and tell her to her teeth. Thus didst thou.
If it be so, Laertes, and how should it be so? How otherwise? Will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord. So you will not o'errule me to a peace.
To thine own peace. If she be now returned as checking at her voyage, and that she means no more to undertake it, I'll work her to an exploit, now ripe in my device, under the which she shall not choose but fall. And for her death no wind of blame shall breathe, but even her mother shall uncharge the practice and call it pastime.
My lord, I will be ruled. The rather, if you could devise it so that I might be the organ.
Laertes, was your mother dear to you, or are you like the painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
Why ask you this?
Not that I do not think you did not love your mother, but that I know love is begun by time, and that I see in passages of proof that time qualifies the spark and fire of it. There lives in the very flame of love a kind of wick or snuff that will abate it. And nothing is at a like goodness still, for that goodness growing to a pleurisy dies in his own too much. What we would do, we should when we would. For that wood changes and hath abatements and delays as many as there are tongues, our hands are accidents. And then this should is like a spendthrift sigh that hurts by easing. But to the quick of the ulcer, Hamlet comes back. What would you do to show yourself your mother's son in deed more than in words?
To cut her throat is the church.
No place indeed should murder sanctuarize. Revenge should have no bounds. But good Laertes, will you do this? Keep close within your chambers. Hamlet will know you are come home. We will bring you in fine together and make us wager upon your heads. She, being remiss, most generous, and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils. That with ease or a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a passive practice requite her for your mother.
I will do it. And for that purpose, I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank, so mortal that but dip a knife in it, where it draws blood, no cataplasm so rare, collected from all simples, that a virtue under the moon can save the thing from death that is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I gall her slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think of this. Weigh what convenience both of time and means may fit us to our shape. If this should fail, 'twere better not essayed, and our bad performance look through our drift. Therefore this project should have a back or a second that might hold if this should blast in proof. Soft, let me see. We'll make a solemn wager upon your cunnings. A hat, when in your motions you are hot and dry, as make your bouts more violent to that end, and that she calls for drink. I'll have a chalice prepared for the nonce, whereon but sipping, if she escape your venom stuck, our purpose may hold there. How now, sweet queen?
One would tread upon another's heels, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Oh, where?
There is a willow. Grows aslant a brook that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. There, with fantastic garlands did she come, of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples that liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maid to dead men's fingers call them. There, on the pendant boughs, her cornet weaves, clambering to hang on, an envious sliver broke, and down her weedy trophies and herself fell into the weeping brook. Which time she started chanting snatches of old tunes as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be, to that her garments heavy with their drink pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas then, she is drowned.
Drowned.
Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears. But yet it is our trick. Nature her custom holds. Let shame say what it will. When these are gone, the woman will be out! Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly doubts it.
Let's follow, Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now I fear this will give it start again. Therefore, let's follow.
buried in Christian burial that willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee, she is, and therefore make her grave straight. The crowner hath sat on her and finds a Christian burial.
How can that be, unless she drowned herself in her own defense?
Why, 'tis found so.
It must be self-indendo. It cannot be else. For here lies the point. If I should drown myself wittingly, it argues an act. And an act hath three branches. It is to do, to act, to perform. Ergo, she drowned herself wittingly.
Nay, but here you couldn't kill her.
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. If the man go to this water and drown himself, it is will he, nil he goes, mark you that. But if the water come to him and drown him, he drowned not himself. Ergo, he that is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life.
But is this law?
Aye, is it? Crowner's quest law.
Will you have the truth on it? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out of honorable burial.
Why, there thou sayest. And the more the pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves, more than they're even Christian. Come, my spade. There is no ancient gentleman in this world but gardeners, ditchers, and grave makers. They hold up Adam's profession.
Oh, was he a gentleman?
He was the first that ever bore arms.
Why, he had none.
What? Art a heathen? The scripture says Adam digged. Could he have digged without arms? I'll put another question to thee. If thou answerest me not to the point, confess thyself.
Go to.
Who builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker, for that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
I like thy wit well in good faith. The gallows does well, but how does it well? It does well to those that do in. Now, thou dost ill to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Ergo, the gallows will do well to thee. To it again, come.
Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Aye, tell me that, and unyoke.
Marry, now I can tell.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it, for your dull ass will not mend the pace with a beating. If thou answerest the question again, say a grave maker. The houses he makes will last till doomsday. Go, get thee a yawn. Fetch me a stoup of liquor. In youth, when I did love, methought it was very sweet. To contract all the time, for methought, my behove, there was nothing meet.
Does this fellow no feeling of his work that he sings at grave making?
But age, with his stealing steps, hath clawed me until his clutch, and hath stripped me until the land, as if I never did so.
I will speak to this fellow. Whose grave's this, sirrah?
Mine, sir. Oh, for a pit of clay to be made for such a guest as meet.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in't.
Thou liest out on it, sir, and therefore it is not yours. As for myself, I lie in it.
You just lie
and
in't.
Therefore it is not mine.
You just lie in't. For to be in't and say it is thine, 'tis for the dead, not for the quick. Therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill weigh again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
For no man, sir.
What, woman then?
For none neither.
Who is to be buried in't?
For one that was a woman, sir. For rest her soul, she's dead.
But soft. But soft, the king, the queen, the courtiers. Who is this they follow with such naming rights? This horse doth betoken its own life with desperate hand. 'Twas of some estate, couch we awhile, and mark.
What ceremony else?
That is Laertes, a very noble youth, Mark.
Layer of the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
What? The fair Ophelia.
Sweets to the sweet farewell. I had hoped thou shouldst been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bid to have decked sweet maid and not have strewed thy grave.
Oh, trouble, woe. Fall 10 times trouble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold the earth off a while, till I have caught her once more in mine arms. Now, pile your dust upon the quick and the dead, till of this flat mountain you have made to o'ertoppled Pelion, or the skyish head of blue Olympus.
Who is she whose grave, whose bears such an emphasis, whose face of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder-wounded heroes? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
Oh, praise not well, I prithee take thy fears from my throat. And though I am not splendid and rash, yet have I in me something dangerous, which let thy wiseness fear. Hold off your hand.
Hamlet!
Good my lord, be quiet.
Why, I will fight with him upon this theme, till my eyelids will no longer wag.
She is mad, Laertes.
For love of gods, forbear her.
Swoons, show me what thou'lt do. Wilt weep, wilt fight, wilt fast, wilt tear thyself, wilt drink up easily, eat a crocodile, I'll do it! Did you come here to whine? To outface me by leaping in her grave? Be very quick with her! And so will I. And if thou prate of mountains, let them throw millions of acres on us, till our pate, singeing our pate across the burning zone, shall make Ossa like a wart, nay, out mouth, or rant as well as thou.
This is mere madness, and thus a while the fit will work on her. Anon as patient as the female dove that when her golden couplets are disclosed, her silence sits drooping.
Hear you, sir. Why do you use me thus? I loved you ever. But let it be. Cat will mew, and dog will have his day.
I pray you, good Horatio, wait upon her.
Strengthen your patience in our last night's speech will put the matter to the present push.
Sweet Gertrude.
Send some watch over your son. His grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet shortly shall we see. Till then, in patience our proceedings be.
lordship is right welcome back to Denmark.
I thank you, sir. Dost thou know this waterfly?
No, my lord.
Thy state is the more gracious, for 'tis a vice to know her. She hath much land and fertile. Let a beast be lord of beasts, for her crib shall stand at the king's mess. 'Tis a trough, but, as I say, spacious in the possession of dirt.
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty. Exceedingly, my lord, it is very sultry. I swear I cannot tell how. But, my lord, his majesty has bade me signify to you that he has laid a great wager on your head, sir. This is the matter. Here is newly come to court Laertes. Believe me, an absolute gentleman, full of most excellent differences, a very soft society and great showing indeed. To speak feelingly of him, he is the card or calendar of gentry, for you shall find in him what part a gentleman would see.
Sir, his definement suffers no perdition in you, but I know, to divide him inventorily would dizzy the arithmetic of memory, and yet but yaw neither. In respect of his quick sale, in the verity of extolment, I take him to be a soul of great article, with such infusion of dearth and rareness as, to make true diction of him, his semblable is his mirror, and who would trace him? His umbrage, nothing more.
Your lordship speaks most infallibly of him. You are not ignorant what excellence Laertes is.
I do not confess that, lest I should compare with him in excellence. Though I know, to know a man well were to know himself.
I mean, sir, his weapon. Oh. But in the imputation laid on him by them, in his meed he's unfellowed.
What's his weapon?
A dagger? The king, sir, hath laid that in a dozen passes between yourself and him, he shall not exceed you 3 hits. He hath laid on 12 for 9, and it would come to immediate trial if your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
How if I answer no?
I mean, my lord, the opposition of your person in trial.
Sir, I will walk here in the hall. 'Tis now the very breathing time of night. Let the foils be brought, the gentleman willing. The king hold his purpose, for I will win for him, and I can. If not, I will gain nothing but my shame and the odd hits.
Shall I redeliver you even so?
To this effect, sir. After what flourish, your nature will.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
Yours. She does well to commend it herself. There are no tongue else for's turn.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been in continual practice. Mm-hmm. I can win at the odds. But thou would not think it with ill Alzire about my heart, but it is no matter.
Nay, my good lord.
It is but foolery, a kind of gain-giving as would perhaps trouble a woman.
If your mind is like anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither and say you are not fit.
Not a whit! We defy augury. There is a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, it will be not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be now, yet it will come. The readiness is all. For no man knows aught of what he leaves. What is to leave betimes?
Come, Hamlet, come and take this hand from me.
Was Hamlet wrong, Laertes? Never Hamlet. If Hamlet from herself be ta'en away, then when she's not herself does wrong Laertes. Hamlet does it not. Hamlet denies it. Who does it then? Her madness. If it be so, Hamlet is of the faction that's been wronged, and her madness is poor Hamlet's enemy. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts, that I have shot mine arrow o'er mine house, and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature, whose motive in this case should stir me most to my revenge. But in my terms of honor, I stand aloof, and will no reconcilement, till by some elder masters of known honor, I have a voice and precedent of peace to keep my name ungored. But till that time, I do receive your offered love like love, and will not wrong it.
I embrace it freely. And will this brother's wager frankly play? Give us the daggers. Come.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your dagger, Laertes. In mine ignorance your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, stick fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir.
No, by this hand.
Give them the daggers, young Azric. Cousin Hamlet know you the wager.
Very well. Your grace hath laid the odds on the weaker side.
I fear not. I have seen you both, but since he is bettered, we have therefore odds.
This dagger likes me well. They have all the length. Aye, my good lord.
Send me the stoops of wine upon that table. If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or quit in response to the third, let all the battlements their ordinances fire. King shall drink to Hamlet's better health, and in the cup a union shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Give me the cup. And let the kettle to the drum tell, the king drinks to the Hamlet's health. Come, go. And you judges bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lord.
Stay, give me some wine.
Again!
Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health.
No, play this bout first. Set it by a while. Come.
I do confess. No son shall win. Give her the cup.
Here, Hamlet, take my neck and rub thy brow. Queen crosses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good, madam.
Madam, do not drink.
I will, my lord. I pray you pardon me.
How about you now?
Heart of their sense!
How is it, my lord? How is Laertes?
Why, as a woodcock to mine own sprint, Osric, I am justly killed with mine own treachery.
He swears to see them bleed.
No! No, the drink! The drink, my dear Hamlet, the drink.
Villainy, let the doors be locked, treachery seeking out.
It is here, Hamlet! Hamlet, thou art slain. In thee there is not half an hour of life. No medicine in the world can do thee good. The treacherous instrument is in thy hands, unabated and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Lo, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king's to blame!
The point in venom too. Then venom to thy work. Thou incestuous murderous dame!
Oh, my mother! My offense is rank, it smells to heaven. Then I'll look up. My fault is past. Forgive me my foul murder, oh wretched state. Oh, bosom black as death. All may be well.
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself.
Gain forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my mother's death come not upon thee, nor mine on me.
Let heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. I am dead, Horatio. You that look pale and tremble at this chance that are but mutes our audience to this act. Had I but time. Oh, but the Sergeant Death is swift in his arrest. Oh, I could tell you. But let it be. I am dead, Horatio. Thou livest. Report my cause, and I a right to the unsatisfied. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and draw each breath in pain in this harsh world, I cannot live to hear the news from England. The rest is silence.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince. Flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.